Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to be looking at DeAndre Hunter attacking mismatches. I'm going to let some of this video play while I'm introducing the topic, and then we're going to come back and look at this all again. One of the primary values that Hunter has in the league, generally speaking, is his versatility. And we'll get into how that manifests itself in really specific ways as we talk about that. Um, Offensively, one of the best aspects of Hunter's game is that he can attack mismatches in both directions. So we'll see some examples of when he has a bigger defender on him and he uses certain skills to attack that bigger defender to do good things. And then we'll look at some examples where he has a smaller defender on him and uses a different set of skills to be productive in that setting as well. A really specifically important thing in terms of Hunter's side of the Hawks is that playing alongside Trey, being on a team that is building around Trey, um, other defenses are going to continue doing what we've seen them do so far in 2 years, and that's put bigger defenders, often bigger wing defenders, on Trey to force him to deal with that size and length in front of him. And also, in many cases, the strategy is to wear him down across the game and make him and the other team's view, hopefully, less effective and less impactful towards the end of the game. And so when you think about lineups where they want to push Collins to the 5, Hunter often slides up to the 4. You need him to be able to take advantage of those situations where he has a bigger defender in front of him when he's playing at the 4. When there's a cross match and he ends up with a point guard on him, you want to see him punish that and basically make the other team pay for putting a bigger defender on Trey by allowing Hunter to have the ball, attack the smaller defender, and force the other team to pay for the decision to function in that way. So let's get this team back up. The first possession is going to be a game versus Detroit. This is an example of when Collins is at the 5 and Hunter is at the 4. Trey's being defended by point guard. You've got Morris defending Hunter, Christian Wood defending Collins. As you might have seen the playoff, Morris now plays for the Lakers, so this is well ahead of the trade deadline, the buyout period. The Hawks are going to run some scissors action here, and we'll look at a bit of that. So the first screen from Collins is for Hunter to come to the strong side of the floor. Then he turns around and sets up the traditional pick and roll action with Trey. And then Hunter is setting up near the three-point break on the left side of the floor, and Collins is dashing to the rim. Now we've had a switch here, and Morris is now accountable for Collins, and Wood is now accountable for Hunter. Wood, in this defensive scheme, also has the responsibility to, quote, tag the roller. The roller is Collins. He's not actually going to physically make contact, but that's okay. His job is to get into the paint and dissuade Young from making the pass to Collins for the easy score at the rim. So he's done that here. And then he also, after doing that, has a responsibility for getting out on Hunter to close out on him at the three-point line. And this is where Hunter is attacking, in essence, a 5. As he's now, Wood is one of the more mobile 5s in the league. He has some defensive deficiencies, but one of his strengths is that he can get out on the perimeter and be effective. What we're going to see here from Hunter is he's going to use a left jab as Wood is closing out on him. And that is going to cause Wood to further have his momentum going from the defender's left to his right. And it's going to open up the middle and see what happens here. Attacks via the nail, and then he gets the layup and the free throw scissors action. Delivery to Hunter, left jab, through the nail, foul, and the layup. Here we have the Sixers using a bigger defender on Trey. So this is a cross match situation. Basically, as we roll forward here, you're going to see that Hunter has 6'1" point guard. This is a case where a wing is on Trey and a point guard is on Hunter. Just look how quickly Trey diagnoses this. Look how quickly Hunter does the same thing, seals the smaller player. And Neto can do absolutely nothing with Hunter. That's the case. So here's Oklahoma City, similar thing. You've got Lou Dort, who became quite a famous basketball player in the playoffs, defending James Harden in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. And you got I think 9-time all defensive team, future Hall of Fame point guard Chris Paul. That's the 1 and 3 switch, the point guard and small forward switch that Trey will see a lot of, has already seen a lot of, and will see more and more of. Hunter has the skill set to attack Chris Paul in the post and gets the shot to go. Now, if we run that back here, one thing you're going to see after we finish this play is Gallinari comes over for a double. So this is an area where Hunter needs to mature his game. He probably needs to pass out of that. Maybe he knows that the open shooter is Fernando in that weak side corner over there, and that's not right now the shot the Atlanta offense is going to work for. So he does make the shot, but he basically shoots over 2 defenders. Not sure you always want that. Here's another play where Dort is on Trey, as you can see out top. Once again, Hunter has Chris Paul in the post, sets him up. Very clean action towards the baseline. Next play is a game against the Magic. And as you can see here, more traditional lineup. Collins is at the 5. You can see he's being defended by Vucevic down here on the left baseline. Parker still on the team at this point as being defended by, looks like, Mo Bamba. And that's going to put Hunter at the 3. And oftentimes that's going to give Hunter an automatic kind of mismatch. A lot of teams deploy, 2s and 3s that they view as being interchangeable. And Hunter's just often going to have a size mismatch, as he does here. Now, one thing I'll stop here and point out is that the way that the Hawks are developing Hunter to attack is they typically want him tethered to the nail. The nail is this midpoint of the free throw line, and to kind of keep himself oriented from there. So as Fournier looks to face him up, being tethered to the nail is going to give Hunter some predictability around where the help might be coming from. So you can see Fultz kind of looking to maybe dig down here while he accounts for his man higher on the floor, that being Cam Reddish. Here you get the triple threat kind of posture that's quite famous in basketball. But that's a great way to set up a smaller defender. Pump fake, and he gets there for the layup. Here we have the Heat, and you have Collins setting a screen near the free throw line. So this is a pretty low pick and roll, but Hunter draws the mismatch on the Bam. Bam, as we know, is an emerging defensive star in the league. Made the great block on Jason Tatum in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. But even against a really good defender like Bam, if you look at how Hunter is able to press into his defender, Bam in this case, and use that to create some separation, the pump fake, and that is a really polished play for an NBA rookie. That's a good defender in front of him. That's a bigger defender in front of him. But the timing is impressive, that pump fake to get Bam in the air, and then to have a lot of confidence with the precision around how he gets that shot up without any concern about being blocked. Next, we have a sideline inbounds play versus Philly again. Here we have basically Herder at the point guard position. Hunter draws Milton for as his defender, similarly sized. Fernando comes out to give the screen, and Hunter has Horford basically one-on-one in his sights. Again, he's going to be oriented around the nail in terms of how he sets up this bigger defender to attack him. Not a problem. Scores comfortably. Next game, Trailblazers. Here we have, once again, a cross-match situation. You've got former Hawks favorite, hopefully still somewhat a favorite, Kent Bazemore out here defending Herder. The column ends up on Trey, so they've kind of pushed their bigger guards down to the 1 and the 2. Hunter draws a similarly sized point guard to Trey, and Dame Lillard, what does he do? Right away, he flashes straight to the front of the rim, right at the edge of the restricted area, sets up Dame, not a problem. As this is critical, as teams look to put bigger wings onto Trey to try to defend him with bigger, stronger, more physical players, The fact that Hunter can so quickly recognize this and execute this gives the opposing team something that they really have to think about. So, when fans are kind of having fun with trade scenarios and such, a lot of times they think, oh, Hunter's insignificant. We can send him out in the trade for, whatever return is, kind of being talked about. And what I'm trying to emphasize here is how critical it is to have a player with Hunter's skill set to be ready to attack the smaller players when that cross match is done. Next, we have game versus Denver. Hunter catches the ball at the three-point line. Here he has another player similar to Trey's size, Monte Morris. Trey's not on the floor here, so this is just a probably two lineups played, here by each team that not a lot of preparation went into, but this is just an example of how a guy, Monte Morris, has absolutely nothing for Hunter defending him. Here we have Jamal Murray defending the de facto point guard here on the floor, DeAndre Bembry. You've got, in essence, this is Hunter playing at the floor. And Plumlee is defending him out of the three-point line. And this is where once Hunter faces up, and this is where I'll point out, when you see Hunter attacking smaller guys, he's typically going to start with his back to the basket, like we saw with Dame, like we saw 2 times with Chris Paul. When he has the big here, he's going to start in a face-up triple threat-like position. So he has Plumlee set up here. He goes left. Easy. Not a problem at all. A lot of value in that. So here we see the Lakers dribble handoff action with Jabari Parker. We see one of the Lakers' famous really big lineups with LeBron at the 3, AD at the 4, and JaVale McGee at the 5. They switch this action, which puts AD onto Hunter. Then he gets up another position. He gets switched up to the 5 with the screen from Damian Jones. Face up. Again, when he is attacking bigger guys, he's going to start from that face-up posture. Attacks with the left hand, not a problem at all. Here we see the Hawks facing the Bucks. Vince Carter initiating from the right wing there. Evan Turner is playing the point guard position. And all of a sudden, you see an issue with the way the Bucks get matched up. They have the smaller Dante DiVincenzo onto Hunter. They're running, or I should say the Hawks are setting up for what's called their stack action, which typically would draw Hunter out and let him start the possession by facing up and executing like Trey would often in pick and roll action. But Hunter, being a really intelligent player, notices instead of running out to the top of the key and starting my attack from there, I'm just going to get DiVincenzo on my right shoulder, set him up, entry pass from Vince, and DiVincenzo really can't do anything with him. Next, we have Hunter will be attacking in transition here versus the Pistons. The Pistons are scrambling. One of the reasons the Hawks want to push the ball up the floor is because of how effective Trey and Hunter and Reddish and Collins are at seeing mismatches, attacking mismatches. That's why they want to play quickly. You see basically that Hunter draws Drummond. Svi is trying to get down in the paint and help, but Hunter effectively goes to his right hand and eliminates Svi's help. Here we see Houston game. This is a pretty cropped view on this play, but Hartenstein is switched off after the lens screen. Face up. Again, he's facing up to start the big. Right hand, another and one that's there. Lastly, we'll see in the situation where Bridges starts off on Hunter. The lens screen forces the switch of Cody Zeller. Again, he has the big on him. And Bridges is lurking here. You can see Bridges lurking, wanting to help there, but Hunter starts off face up, spins back to his right, comfortable, good separation, and knocks that shot down. So as the Hawks enter next season, whenever that begins, December, January timeframe, there's going to be a lot of chatter about trade possibilities because we're heading into trade year 3. Hawks need to take this season seriously in the way they haven't in the last 2 years. So everyone expecting a roster upgrade I think, has their head in the right place. What I wanted to share here was If you think just sending Hunter out to get, you know, random upgrade player X or Y or what have you, be thoughtful about that, because he has very specific value playing next to Trey. That's it. Thank you.